This nominee is not going to be considered. And, the American people should understand, if the shoe was on the other foot, if this was a Republican president submitting a nominee to a Democratic Senate in the middle of a presidential election year, there are no circumstances under which the nominee would be confirmed.
So there it is from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He is not budging, saying Democrats would do the same if the roles were reversed. My next guest saying George W. Bush would not be confirmed even if he were the nominee. Really? Senator Jim Inhofe, Republican from Oklahoma. Senator, how are you? Good morning. Not even 43, huh? Wow.
Well, that's right. Bill, but that's true. We shouldn't even be talking about this personality because no nominee from this president is going to be considered. And everyone knows that. Certainly, Judge Garland knows that. I talked to him. He called me yesterday, and I made it very clear. It was already clear in his mind, and I'm sure he's a nice guy. There are going to be people talking about things in his past where he's not, maybe would not be acceptable. That's not the issue. The issue is we're not going to, and I'm very proud of Mitch McConnell for coming out when he did, when we're in recess, and saying what he said. Under no circumstances are we going to consider the nominee that comes from this president.
Okay, let me just fire a couple questions in here.
Sure.
You talked to Judge Garland. How long did that conversation last?
Oh, we talked probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Did he try and talk you into it?
No,
or otherwise?
No, he didn't. No, I'll tell you what I did, Bill. The very second we first started, I said, "I'm going to make sure you understand. Under no circumstances are we going to consider your nomination. It's dead on arrival, and I think you know that." And then we visited just about a couple of other things that weren't even germane. So I don't think that we'll have any further conversation. And the point here is we shouldn't even be talking about him. This applies to anyone who comes. That's why I said yesterday that even if Barack Obama were to nominate George W. Bush, he wouldn't be considered either by this Congress.
So this is DOA, right? It's dead on arrival, according to Republicans.
Absolutely.
Jeff Flake's a Republican, so too is Orrin Hatch, as you know. They both suggested they would consider this nominee if Hillary Clinton won the election in November and you were in the middle of a lame duck session. Have you thought about that?
Oh, sure. I've thought about that, and they're entitled to their opinion on this thing. And who knows? This is a very distinguished judge, and we all understand that. We can disagree with some of the positions he's taken, and that people will be talking about that. I'm not going to be talking about that because that isn't the issue. The issue is we're not going to be confirming anyone that Barack Obama sends to us.
Okay. One just last question.
I have to say,
it sounds like you've got the door open a little bit during a lame duck session. You said who knows? Is that what you meant?
No, I'm just talking about me. I'm saying what others may say could be different. But what I'm concerned about, no, that's not. Let's keep in mind now, this is 139 years we've had this policy that we are not going to do it during an election year, and this has stood for that length of time. And so everybody knows it. I don't blame Obama for doing this because he has a lot of people out there thinking that somehow Republicans are using this in a partisan way. We're not.
Final question. You came out late yesterday and endorsed John Kasich for the Republican nomination. What's wrong with Ted Cruz? What's wrong with Donald Trump?
It's not a matter of the three. He would be the one that I would look. I know John Kasich very well. I was in a Bible study with him for 8 years, and we were together in the House. He took over as a budget director, and he actually gets things done, performs things, and he is the strongest one of the three of them on national defense. That's my biggest issue in this coming election. What this president has done in denigrating our national defense is deplorable, and I'm looking for the one who would be the strongest in that issue. Okay. Clearly, it would be John Kasich. He goes all the way back.
Yep. Yeah. I know you know him back into the 90s. He's got a tough road to go. We will see what happens. Senator, thank you for your time. We are out of time now. You bet. Jim Inhofe, Republican from Oklahoma.